Hey, welcome back to another video, another educational video here on Wondershare Dr.Fone. And today what we're going to do is talk about one of the biggest changes that we've seen in an iPhone for recent years. And on the new iPhone 15s and the 15 Pros, we have had a revolutionary port put into the phones, and that is USB-C. And this is a major change because we've had Lightning for the last 10 years or so. Now, having USB-C is a big change for the iPhone. Before we go ahead though, there is some big news from us as well, and Dr.Fone 13.5 is on the way. And with this being on the way, it brings some really cool new features, including an AI wallpaper option where you can create your own AI wallpapers and music as well. That AI wallpaper function has already been made available, so why not go into the Dr.Fone software and give it a try? And of course, if you're new here to the channel, why not subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell, and then you won't miss any of the videos that we have coming up on the channel. But for now, let's get into today's video. With the new iPhone 15 and 15 Pro series, Apple has changed something massive and major in its phones, and that is getting rid of that Lightning port. Now, we've had that Lightning port for the last 10 years on iPhones, and every other one of Apple's products, including their MacBooks and their iPads, will charge with USB-C. And now that the iPhone 15 and 15 Pro charges with USB-C, it means you can charge all of your devices with one cable. The adoption is the result of an EU legislation that requires all smartphones sold in Europe to have a USB-C port for charging. A major factor behind this regulation was an environmental concern regarding over 11,000 tons of electronic waste produced by different chargers. And this will save loads of money for consumers, looking at 250 million euros annually. And as we know, USB-C ports are superior as well. But what does this mean for the iPhone, and why is it better? Apple was one of the only major phone manufacturers that hadn't already implemented the standard USB-C charging port and has been stuck with Lightning for the last 10 years or so. But now that Apple have adopted it, the question is, what does this mean for the iPhones now with the iPhone 15 and the iPhone 15 Pros? The major leap forward here for Apple is in terms of versatility, speed, and compatibility. But let's have a look at some of those major changes now we have the USB-C on iPhones. First of all, the most obvious factor is the universality of the USB-C port. It is widely used, as we've mentioned already, all over the tech world and has become the principal choice for charging ports for all major brands. In comparison, Lightning cables are specific to Apple devices, even though only some devices like iPhones support them. It means that the iPhone 15 will now be able to connect to a broader range of devices. So this is not just charging cables, but accessories as well. And our second point of USB-C being superior on the iPhones and giving it an added benefit is when it comes to data transfer from PC or Mac and the iPhone. The cable you're using is the same one that determines the data transfer speed. And USB-C Type-C cables are far ahead, supporting data transfer speeds up to 40 gigabits per second. And Lightning cables only supported up to 480 megabytes per second, so that is a huge jump. And of course, just the data transfer speeds aren't the only benefit, there are more. And one of the best ways now is that you can do bi-directional charging. So from your iPhone, you're able to charge other devices by using a USB-C port. You can charge up your headphones or even another phone by plugging in that USB-C cable. And one of the smaller added benefits is that you can use either side of the cable. It doesn't matter. With a Lightning cable, it had to be Lightning that went into the phone and the USB-C port into the charging brick. But now it doesn't matter which way you put that into your phone. And finally, we have to talk about that now multi-platform capability that the USB-C brings to the iPhone. Due to its wide compatibility and extensive use, USB Type-C supports connectivity between a wide variety of platforms. No matter what device you're using, USB Type-C makes connecting easy and consistent. But what are some of the other major benefits for iPhone now switching to USB-C? Now, iPhone has some of the most die-hard users in the world, and they think that iPhones are the greatest phones of all time, and they might not be wrong. But the question is, for a lot of you now, we've got USB Type-C. What is the difference now? What can we expect? what are the benefits of that, and the questions that you might have I will answer in this video. So let me get into the topic number 1 of questions you might want to ask. Will only the iPhone 15s in Europe have that USB-C, or will it come to everyone in the world? Well, it's a really good question, and it's a really simple answer because this is an EU law which stated, of course, that every phone sold in Europe would need that USB-C cable, and that's why Lightning has disappeared. However, Apple have not just made this a rule for their phones in Europe. This is worldwide. So anywhere that you buy a new iPhone 15 or iPhone 15 Pro, it will have USB-C. The next question we had was, will you need to buy a new Type-C cable and charger? Now, this depends, because if you have an Apple product already, like a MacBook or an iPad, you might already have that charging cable, and you can use that charging cable with the existing charging brick already, with no purchases available or even necessary. And if you buy a new iPhone 15, then in the box you will get that brand new Type-C cable, so there would be no reason for you to go out and purchase another cable because it will come shipped in the box with your brand new iPhone. But if you're looking for those fast data transfer speeds, then you will have to purchase a separate cable, because Apple is not being kind in this sense. They are not giving you the fast data transfer cable. This is going to be a USB-C 2 cable and not one that has greater speeds. So if you're happy with that, you don't need to buy one. But if you want the faster data transfer speeds, then you're going to have to go and get yourself a new cable. The next question was, what will be the effect of Type-C on the charging of the iPhone 15? USB-C does actually allow you to charge up to 240 watts on a phone, but this is Apple, and sadly on this iPhone we will not be getting any fast charging speeds at all. The rumours were we would be getting 30-watt fast charging with the iPhone, but sadly that doesn't seem to be the case, and we are still stuck in the 20-watt charging range for all iPhone 15 and 15 Pro models. So no matter what charging cable or power brick you use, you will not be able to get anywhere near 240 watts on an iPhone. So USB-C coming to iPhone 15 and 15 Pro sadly doesn't really change the charging speeds at all. And the last question we have is, will Apple add the USB Type-C feature to older iPhone models? Well, there's a rumor that is flying around that some of the older iPhones that they sell, in terms of the iPhone SE 2nd generation and other iPhones that Apple have kept in their lineup, will upgrade to USB-C. However, there's no indication from Apple that this is going to be the case. So every older iPhone that Apple still sells is more likely to stick with that Lightning cable, and it's only confirmed that USB-C is coming to the iPhone 15s and 15 Pro, getting that Type-C, and every other iPhone in that lineup will be sticking with the Lightning cable. So no Type-C coming to any older iPhones as far as we're aware. And that is that with today's video. Hopefully we've given you a bit of an insight into what USB-C coming to Apple's latest iPhone 15 and 15 Pros means, and answered any of the questions that you might have, because as we said before, this is a big change for Apple, swapping out that Lightning cable going to USB-C. It now feels finally a good reason to upgrade your phone, as you can charge with one cable for almost all of your devices. And of course, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments and we'll do our best to answer them. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on as well so you don't miss any more of our videos. And if you do all of that, then we will see you in our next video.